Hey guys, this is Josh Farley back with another video. And in this video, I'm just going to be showing you guys my Raspberry Pis that I have. If you guys don't actually know what a Raspberry Pi is, it's actually a small Linux computer. Basically, it's a single board computer. Now, I'm not going to actually be going too much into depth about this, about these, at least not right now. But the main thing that I actually use these for is actually, I actually use my Raspberry Pi 4, that's my main one. And then I use my Raspberry Pi 3 as a backup. What these actually can do, what I actually have the Raspberry Pi 4 and the 3 set up to do is, now the Raspberry Pi 3 is the main, the Raspberry Pi 4 is the main computer, so I actually keep this running 24/7. Sometimes I'll give it a break, like if I know that I'm not going to be home or something for an extended period of time, or I know that nobody's home. Sometimes I'll turn it off and give it a break. I'll actually probably do that sometime soon and kick the Raspberry Pi 3 on and let that run for a while and, give the Raspberry Pi 4 a break. But these kind of computers are actually meant to run, 24, 7, basically all the time. If they have the proper fanning and everything. As you can see here, I actually have a fan that I got on Amazon for only like 20 or 30 bucks. It's a tripole fan, it's called, and it's really quiet. I actually have my fan on over there, blowing in my room right now, and I normally have a fan, as you can see, that tower fan right up there. I normally keep that on just, to keep the room cool and stuff. And when it's really hot, I actually turn the air conditioner on, and I also put that fan on to help circulate some more air. But actually, if you can see in here, I also have a small fan that's running on top of that in there, as you can see, and there's a cutout here for the air to be able to get out. Same with that one. Same with the Raspberry Pi 3. So it's basically just a mini computer, a mini Linux computer. But what I actually use them for is blocking ads. I actually have Pi-hole set up on both of them, so they both are able to block ads. So if the one goes down, I can just turn the other one on. I can actually turn them both on remotely, because I actually have a smart I'm trying to think of the word, surge protector. That's what it's called, a smart surge protector. It's actually called a Monster. It's Monster brand. It's like a Walmart brand or something, but it works, flawlessly. It, does what I needed to do. So I can actually turn it on, either using my Google Assistant, or I could turn either of them on. I can turn either of them on or off using my Google Assistant, or I could just, do it remotely. I could run a command, like a CMD command in an app that is available for the Raspberry Pi and available in the Google Play Store. So I can just do it remotely. I can also do it via cellular data. So if I'm not on a public Wi-Fi, or I'm not on my home Wi-Fi, I can actually still control these, and I can actually still update them. I can still update the software from wherever I'm at, using an app called Tailscale. So I can do that. It's basically like a VPN that allows me to control these when I'm away from home, like if I'm on cellular data, or if I'm on a another Wi-Fi network other than my own. So they're really interesting, computers. They're really small. Like I said, they're meant to run all the time. But I try to keep mine the coolest that I can. As I said, I keep that fan on at all times, and I, keep this fan on inside here at all times. So they're definitely, cooled down as best as as best as they possibly can be. And like I said, I like to keep the tower fan up there on, basically all the time. I just don't have it on, for the sake of this video. I don't want it to be too loud. But I also keep that fan on over there on the air conditioner. It's not, too hot today. It is kind of humid here. It's like 80s. But as long as I keep my room you know, the windows shut, as long as I keep the shade shut and everything, and, you know, keep this fan on and the fan in there, and the tower fan and the fan, you know, on the AC itself, you know, it's normally good to go. I've never had a problem with these overheating, but long story short, what I basically wanted to get into in this video is I just wanted to let you guys know that I use these for ad blocking mainly. I use them for a entire network, a network-wide ad blocking experience. So I use Pi-hole. If you don't know what Pi-hole is, you can check it out online. It's a really well-known network-wide ad blocking solution. I definitely recommend using it. I use it, you know, because it's great. You know, I can block, you know, ads on my phone. I can block ads, you know, on anything network-wide. You actually have to tie it into your router or your modem, or whatever you have, you know, so you have to, you know, set it up. It's kind of complicated to set up, but once you do get it set up and running, it's good to go most of the time. You just have to do a few tweaks here and there. So it's definitely worth it. You know, I actually used to use AdGuard. I actually still do use AdGuard. Actually, I use AdAway because my phone is rooted. My phones are rooted. So I use AdAway for my phone when I'm away from home, because when you're away from your, you know, home network, you can't, you know, unfortunately use Pi-hole. So, you know, you can't use it on a cellular network because it's not connected to your, you know, router or your home network. So that's the only downside about it, you know, but there are other alternatives out there like AdAway, AdGuard, you know, all those kind of stuff. You know, there's DNS ad blockers out there. Blockita is another good one, a non-root one. That's a really good one for non-rooted devices. But yeah, I mean, this is basically, you know, the Pi-hole server. I keep it running, like I said, basically all the time. I just wanted to, you know, let you guys know about it. Like I said, I like to keep you guys in the loop and keep you, you know, knowing about what I do and what I've been up to and stuff. I've actually had this like a good, like 2 years now, almost 2 years, I think, going on 2 years. This is actually the base model. This is the, I think it's the 2 or 4 gigabyte one. I think it's the 4 gigabyte of RAM, but you don't really need much RAM. You know, I didn't want to get the more expensive model. This was expensive enough because right now, the chip demand and everything, they're still trying to catch back up from when COVID hit and everything. So this actually cost me like $200, actually more, because of the casing and everything. So I had to get a case for it. I had to get a fan for it. I actually have an ice tower in there is actually what it's called. It's actually called an ice tower. I have them in both of them, and it actually goes around. It goes into the bottom, and it actually makes it a lot cooler. So they do work. I definitely recommend getting them, especially if you're going to be running it 24 hours, you know, a day like I do. And I definitely recommend getting a fan like this one. This one's actually a really good brand. I definitely recommend it. Tripole. I can actually leave those linked down below in the description, and I can also leave the ice tower that I use actually down below in the description. I use them for both. And then you get, you know, it's up to you if you use a micro SD in these, but I don't like to use a micro SD. I actually have an SSD in both of these. I have a small SSD. I actually have, trying to think of the brand. It's not Trend Micro. Trying to think of the brand of the SSD that I have. I actually have a memory card. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, that's what it is, Silicon Power. So Silicon Power, they make really good stuff. They make really good, I was actually using this in this before. I was actually using that in there before, and then I actually had a Samsung one in my Raspberry Pi 3. So Silicon Power, they make really good stuff. I really like their SSDs. I really like their micro SDs. I like their SD cards. They make really good stuff. That's actually what this is. I believe this is a 1 terabyte Silicon Power, or a 500 gigabyte, something like that. And then I have a, I believe, a 500 gigabyte silicone power in the Raspberry Pi 3. I believe that this one's more. I think that's like a 1 terabyte, and then this one's like 500 or something. But either way, that's plenty of space, and you can get the silicone power SSDs on Amazon for like 20-30 bucks. I mean, they're not expensive at all. I haven't had any problems with them. A lot of people say, oh, they're not, really top of the line. I've read some mixed reviews, people saying, that they're garbage. They're not that good. They fail after so many years or whatever. I mean, if you think about it, if it's running 24/7, a lot of the time, I mean, it's not going to last forever. It's definitely not going to last forever. But it's definitely going to last longer than a micro SD. So, I would definitely recommend, getting them. I would recommend, checking out silicone power. Like I said, I haven't had any problem with them. And it's going on 2 years. I've been using my Pi-hole, my Raspberry Pi 4, and I haven't had any problems with them, and it's been running, like 24/7 basically, every day. So, it's still going strong. I can still update stuff. I haven't had any problems with it failing, or anything, yet or anything. So, are they as good as Samsung? I mean, I would probably say no, they're not as good as Samsung. But, for something like this, I just think to myself, if it fails, it fails. I'm just using it for a Pi-hole server. I'm not using it for anything, crazy. I'm not using it for, crazy stuff. So, if it fails, it fails. I can just, get another one for 20 or 30 bucks and, throw it right back in there and then, install Pi-hole and everything, and I'm good to go again. So, it's not like I'm actually saving a bunch of stuff on here. It's not like I'm actually using it, for anything, other than blocking ads and stuff network wide. So, it's not really worth it to me to get something really expensive like a Samsung Evo or something like that. As long as you keep it cool, as long as you keep it as cool as possible. Like I said, I have a fan running directly on mine, and it actually helps with keeping this cool too, because it actually blows. As you can see, I'll actually show you. The USB ports and everything are right there. So it's actually blowing, through, this way. It's actually coming through this way. So it's actually helping keep, not only the SSD cool, but it's also helping keep the Raspberry Pi itself cool, cooler. But like I said, I definitely recommend the ice towers. I definitely recommend them, and I definitely recommend getting a stand fan, like a small fan like this one back here. And if you do get one of these, I definitely recommend keeping it in a well ventilated area. That's why I have it here, like on the desk, like, them a little bit separated from each other, and enough space to get some, air and stuff. And I definitely recommend, using like a tower fan, and your air condition, or your, a fan, just keep it really ventilated, keep it really, as cool as possible, because, just because they are a small computer, they do tend to get hot, especially the Raspberry Pi 4s. I've read online that they actually get hotter than the Raspberry Pi 3 did. And actually a lot of people say, oh, they choose a Raspberry Pi 3 over the 4 because it doesn't actually, dispense as much heat, which is actually true, because it's not, as powerful as the Raspberry Pi 4. But as long as you're doing something, if you're not doing anything crazy, if you're not overclocking it or anything like that, you shouldn't have any problems. I don't overclock my stuff. I don't even overclock my Android devices. I don't, do any of that. So, as long as you keep it how it is, and buy a fan, buy a ice tower, like I said, I'll leave that down below in the description. Then you'll be fine, and have a fan blowing directly on the SSD like I do here. These are actually plug-in SSDs. These are actually adapters, like plug-in adapters. I actually have it into the back of the USB port there. Same with the Raspberry Pi 3. You do have to mess with some settings to be able to do that, to make it run off of an SSD, make it boot off of an SSD. But it's not really that difficult. It's actually, pretty easy if you, go online or go on YouTube and, find out how to do it. I did it easily. It's not that hard. You just have to mess with some settings in the Raspberry Pi configuration and stuff. So it's not that difficult. But anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, I just wanted to get this video out there. Like I said, I like to keep you guys in the loop. This is what I, like to do. I like to use these for, Pi-hole. I like to have a network-wide ad blocker. It's really nice. I would definitely recommend looking into it. And, if you do, though, if you're going to have it running 24/7, I would probably recommend getting an SSD. I wouldn't recommend using a micro SD because they do have more of a failure rate than SSDs, and I definitely would probably recommend staying away from hard drives too, because hard drives have a more failure rate than SSDs. So, but anyway, yeah, guys, like I said, just wanted to get this video out there. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe, and until next time, guys.